cats and kittens. You are watching UGUE Brothers Vlogs, guys, and this is Savage Kitchen. I got another banger for you guys. I am making beef and broccoli. Guys, I am crazy surprised how inexpensive and how easy this dish was, and of course I made it in the Ninja Foodi. You can make this in the Instapot. You can even make this in a pan if you want. I just used the Ninja Foodi for this recipe, but it doesn't take hardly any time. It takes hardly any prep, and it's really, really inexpensive with easy to find ingredients as well. So without further ado, let's get cooking. All right, guys, here we go. So this is beef and broccoli, something that's super easy. I've wanted to try this recipe for a while. For some reason, I just really haven't. Honestly, this is so crazy, so easy, so delicious. The most expensive thing is going to be your flank steak. Other than that, dirt cheap, easy to do meal. First thing you want to do is go ahead and peel your ginger and give it a chop. Now this, a lot of people out there may not necessarily like ginger, but a tablespoon or two of this in this dish is not going to be very potent because of everything else that is in it. The other thing I did was I went ahead and added a green chili because I wanted to spice this up. You do not have to put this in there. If you do not want to, you can add more, you can add less, you can leave it out. It doesn't really matter. It's just up to you, but I wanted to add a little bit of a kick to this, so I did add some fresh green chilies and just give that a chop. I just used one chili here. That was enough for me. And then just take some green onion, cut the whites off. Now with the whites, you can actually take that, cut it up into little pieces, put that in a little sugar and white vinegar, and you can actually pickle those and use those in this dish on top as like a topping if you want. I didn't do that. I just went ahead and threw it away, but just take your greens, give it a nice chop just like that. So I went ahead and just prepared all of the vegetables first just to get it out of the way. The prep on this is so fast, it's unreal. One of the easier, faster dishes that I've put together, really. Now you can get these big things of broccoli. I got 2 large stems of them for about $5. It was 2 for $5, so dirt cheap. You really only need about 1.5, maybe 1. Just really depends on how hearty you want this dish to be, how many people you are serving, etc. So all you do is just chop that stem off, break up the pieces into tiny little florets, and just put them aside. I went ahead and put them in the colander just so that I can rinse them later. Just makes my life easier for later prep. And just set that aside. Next, you want to go ahead and get a fairly large bowl. Doesn't have anything crazy, just a fairly large bowl, and just put your ginger and your chili in there. Because we're actually going to start the marinade here for the beef. Then you're going to put in soy sauce and chicken stock. About a cup and a half. Just really depends on how much beef you actually purchased. I got about a pound and a half, so I didn't use too much. The other thing you are going to want to do, and I always say this in all my videos I do stuff like this, is you are going to want to taste your marinade, because you are going to make them for your palate. I made this for my palate, so I typically don't measure too much unless it's sort of like this, like it's the base. But overall, I just sort of eyeball things and I taste as I go. And once I get it to where I enjoy it and all the flavors sort of balanced and I get what I'm trying to accomplish, then I'm done. The only other thing I added here was add some sesame oil, some garlic. And the recipe actually calls for cooking sherry or just a base level sherry. I didn't want to go to the liquor store, so I just picked up some sherry wine vinegar, which will do basically the same thing because you only put about 2 tablespoons in there. You don't put a ton. It's just a bit of flavor. You want to put 2 tablespoons of brown sugar as well. And once you get in there, just take a nice whisk, stir that up, and again, try your marinades. Taste them. All right. Now, here is this beautiful piece of flank steak, and you notice all those little lines going through. That is the grain. You are going to want to cut against the grain. That is going to help break down the fibers in the cut of beef and make these little pieces extremely tender. And then when you combine that with this marinade, it becomes melt in your mouth. I think some people sort of get a little nervous about working with weird cuts like this, even though they're cheaper cuts, but you shouldn't. They have amazing flavors, and there's tons of stuff you can do with them, and they're easy to work with. So there you have it, guys. I did again put chilies in there as well to spice my marinade up. You do not have to do that. Then you just go ahead and put that in the fridge for about 15-20 minutes. Longer the better, but 15-20 minutes is really all you need. Then go ahead and throw your broccoli into the crisp basket, into your Foodi, and shut the lid, the pressure cook lid. Now, don't pressure cook these. You're going to want to turn the knob to vent. You want the steam to escape. We are steaming, not pressure cooking. So make sure it's on vent so the steam escapes. And then to hit steam, and you only need to do this for about 4, maybe 5 minutes. Depends on how much broccoli you put in there. But 4 minutes was perfect. Just be very careful in this step because this stuff's hot. Like crazy. I even burnt myself right here. So I just took a fork, just sort of poked it a little bit, made sure it was the doneness that I like, because I like my broccoli to be a little bit on the crunchier side in dishes like this. So then you take the entire bucket out, dump the water out. You don't want the broccoli juice in there because that's nasty. And then put it back in there. Once your beef is done marinating, put it in there, pour it all in there, even with the marinade. Make sure it's sort of flat and even out so it all cooks evenly. And then shut the pressure cooker lid again. This time we're pressure cooking, so turn that bad boy back to seal. You don't need to add anything else in there. There's plenty of liquid in there. Set it to pressure cook. Put that on there for about 12 minutes. That's all you need, 12 minutes. If you use a bit more beef, you may need to add a little bit more time. But 12 minutes here was perfect. And look at that. Oh, you can't see anything because it's foggy, but just give it a second. Just give it a second. Be patient. The most disappointing thing here is that you cannot smell this thing when you open it like that. Oh my God, I'm getting hungry just remembering it. And then you just put about 2 tablespoons of some cornstarch into about 2 tablespoons of water and stir it up. Make sure it's all dissolved and looks all milky like that. You may need a little bit more. It just depends on how much liquid you have, how much marinade you put in your marinade. But about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of water minimum. Just stir that up real nice. Turn your saute option on to about mid-high, and just let that start to heat up. As it starts to simmer a little bit, throw your cornstarch in there and start stirring. You do want to make sure when it comes to cornstarch, you do stir because it can get lumpy. So just stir. This will take you a few minutes as you start to see it really rise up and thicken, change color a little bit, just like you see here. At this point, you can sort of decide whether or not you want to put a little more cornstarch in, or you're ready for your veggies. I had put a little bit more because I did have a lot of marinade liquid, so I did put a little bit more in mine. So just look at it, make a decision. Then you're going to want to put all your green onions and then throw your broccoli in there. And you're basically done here. All you want to do is sort of stir it up, make sure it's all thoroughly mixed together, make sure that sauce, which is now sort of a gravy at this point, thoroughly coats all of your broccoli bits. And you're going to want to essentially heat up the broccoli because at this point, that broccoli has been standing for the time it takes to cook your beef. So you want to warm through all of that beautiful broccoli. This is also why it's important to just have your broccoli steamed to doneness and not overdone, because as soon as you start mixing and heating again, if it's overdone, overcooked beforehand, it'll get all mushy and disgusting, start breaking apart, and it'll look just ugly. So just be very careful. You keep that steam time low, and it's just soft, just within the soft range. This will hold on to a lot of that consistency. You see all my broccolis here actually stayed together and mixed together really well. Now at this point you could do kind of a couple different things. What I did here is I went ahead and added a little bit more garlic, and I added some sriracha to mine. because again, I wanted some boldness, but you don't have to do that. It's done. But you want to add a little bit more kick. I add a little bit more broccoli and sriracha for that garlic sriracha flavor. And I just served this with some steamed brown rice that I also did in the Foodi. If you are doing brown rice, it does take some time. It takes about 23 minutes in the Foodi. If you're doing jasmine or basmati or something like that, it may only be about 10 minutes. So it just really depends. But I served it with brown rice because it's complex carb, a lower glycemic impact. But look how beautiful that came out. Absolutely gorgeous. It looks crazy in the Foodi itself, but once you get it out, you serve it, it looks restaurant quality. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Guys, man, this stuff's not hard, man. This is easy to do. It is fun, and let me tell you something. That beef was so tender. It just melted like butter. Amazing. I know sometimes you get like the pre-made bags, the frozen bags of this stuff, or you go to like some restaurants and stuff. That beef is so tough and chewy and just meh. This was incredibly melt in your mouth, buttery. It is amazing. And you know what? Pro tip: if you had a little bit of duck sauce on top, it's banging delicious. Absolutely good, guys. This stuff's so inexpensive and easy to get. Try this recipe. Boom. All right, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a short one, but hopefully it's a good one and you guys had a lot of fun watching it. I had tons of fun making it. This recipe is awesome, guys. You got to try it. Make it your own, change things up, experiment with it. Doesn't matter, just have some fun, man. This stuff is great. It's super inexpensive, easy to do, easy to find ingredients. There's no excuses, man. Stop wasting your money going out to eat and wasting your money going to fast food places thinking that's cheap. No. You can have real, honest to goodness, home cooked meals at home, quick, easy, and cheap. So just give it a try, guys. Hopefully you guys are all out there finding yourself healthy, happy, and strong. I know tons of stuff are changing around us, so it's freaking crazy. Crazy freaking time to be alive right now. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for your support. Please comment, like, subscribe, hit that little thumb thingy. That helps us out a lot. If you're interested in any UGUE merchandise, check us out at UGUEbrothers.com. Also, we do have Teespring as well, so check that out. We are probably going to have some sales coming up here soon. As people are starting to gradually get back to work, I want to make sure that some of you guys have some opportunity to get some cool stuff if you want it, with some discounts. So I'm working on that right now, the logistics of that, and I'll let you guys know. Anyway, tons of stuff coming out. Joe and I have been burning the candle at both ends. I even have a little little voice thing this morning just because we had a late night last night because my car got stuck and yada yada yada. Just anyway, guys, until next time, peace and love. Stay savage.